really are a cop, you know. So I'm no fun to be around, you know, apparently. Thank God I'm sober. First is a social. They can take it or they can leave it. They can take it or they can leave it. Second is what's called a hard drug user, hard drinker or drug user. You guys have a college here, right? What is the college? It's Cornell. So if I go to some college campus on Saturday, it's safe to assume that everybody there is an alcoholic, right? Because they're drinking like quite a bit, more than perhaps you, right? They're all alcoholics there. No. A hard drinker is somebody that for a period of their life appears to be an alcoholic or an addict. They're partying it up. Drugs, alcohol, whatever. But here's the thing. A negative situation occurs as a result of it. They get a little bit in trouble, their grades start to slip. Something happens. And as a result of that, they decide to change. See, the difference between a hard drug user, which could be a temporary thing, and me, is that I was about avoiding uncomfortable feelings, things, and situations. So, a real alcoholic like me or a real addict, I'm using for an underlying reason. If I was married and I was drinking, and if I had problems in my marriage because of my drinking, I would increase my drinking as a way to handle the problems in my marriage related to my drinking. Makes perfect sense to this guy over here, the emotional addict guy. It makes sense. The thing is that addiction is not rational. Addiction is emotional. It is an emotional playground. And I will change depending on how I feel when I'm in my active addiction. In my active addiction, I'm slippery. In my active addiction, I'm an expert at changing an environment, a situation, a confrontation, an intervention into something that will best serve me. They always do the same thing on interventions. Always. You know what the last thing they do is? Everyone. I'll go, but not today. Because we know that we can always put it off until tomorrow. My life is getting better. Not all of them say that, but all of them say, can I go tomorrow? Or a week from now. I had a gentleman that was completely homeless. And he said, can I have a week to handle my affairs? Pray tell, what are your affairs? I'd love to hear this. And, you know, but his reality was real for him. He had created a life in his head. You know, and all he had was this little bag. You know, but that was his world. And it made a lot of sense to him. Here's an interesting question that I ask every family that I talk to. And if you know the answer, then you know the nature of addiction. I fly out to an addict, any addict, in the midst of their addiction, and I offer them two options. They have to choose one or the other. There's no mysterious third. One or the other. Option number one is a local outpatient place where they go and they see a counselor for 1 hour a night, twice a week. And they can stay at home. I'll throw some random drug tests in there. And we'll do it for, let's say, 6 weeks. That's all they have to do. They don't have to go to A or any, don't have to report to anybody. That's it. And let's say that that solution has about a 0.01% success rate for a 1-year length of sobriety. In other words, 1 in 10,000 will get sober with just doing that, which is pretty accurate, I think. Or, option number two, and I'm going to make this option up. This treatment program doesn't exist, but here's option two. Option two is a 1-year lockdown facility that they can't even leave the building for the first 6 months. It's almost like jail. It's a very difficult program. It's really hard. They're really on them. They're facing some uncomfortable life situations. After 9 months, they can actually make a phone call. They can't see their family or their kids or nothing. After 1 year, a guarantee, a 100% success rate, guarantee that they will never use drugs or alcohol again, a guarantee that they will have a happy, wonderful career, and a guarantee that they're going to have a wonderful life. I don't know how I can guarantee those, but it's in paper. I'm making this program up. Which one are they going to pick? The outpatient every time. Every single time. And they'll roll the dice. And if you get why, you understand the problem. And yet if I offered you the same thing, you would take the 1 year. Cancer, I'd take the 1 year, right? A problem, a marital problem, some of us would take the 1 year. Problem with our child. Some of us would do it. My mother would go for 5 years to fix me. She'd do it in a minute with those kind of odds. But every time I would roll the dice. That's kind of it. Any other questions?
I have one.
Yes.
My son is in rehab right now.
Yeah, where's he at?
He's in Iowa City. In
Ah.
fact, I'm going to go pick him up in a little bit.
How long has he been there?
It's been a week.
Okay.
3 times a week, 3 hours a day.
Okay.
In a 1-hour counseling session, one-on-one.
Yeah.
How can I get him on the right track when he comes home?
How old is your son?
21. 20.
Do you mind if I ask what the drug is? Or would you rather not say?
I don't really know the extent of it, but he tried to kill himself.
A serious attempt, or did you do one of these, hey mom, if you kick me out like I did, that's why I got scarred right here?
No, he overdosed, or didn't overdose, but he took a lot of Ambien and then tried to strangle himself.
Okay, so maybe there is some, you have to take it seriously no matter what. Any suicide threat, you always contact the authorities, always. Good, right thing to do. Yeah, you have to take it seriously. The thing is that he's young, he's 21. Does he attend meetings outside of that? See, that's part of the thing.
Rehab it's almost like a status symbol when he's talking to his friends.
The thing is that here's why outpatient for a lot of people is not successful. It's not that the program itself isn't effective. It's that the reason why the clients choose it is they usually choose that because they don't want to do the uncomfortable route. And when you have that mindset, you are now making the wrong choice. Do you get it? I'm about choosing the easier, softer way. So if I choose an easier, softer way in this, I'm not on the path to recovery. How do you get them in the right direction? You hold all the cards. He needs you more than you need him. You hold all the cards, and you always did. However, he holds your emotional cards. He can push your buttons because he installed most of them. And there's already a suicide attempt, so now you have a fear button. And if he has a bad day and says, fine, I'm out of here, the first thing that you're going to think is that you'll never see him again. So now you're stuck between hope and fear. Yeah. You could let him run with what he's doing. Let him try this out, but get an agreement. An agreement with a drug addict is worth about nothing. Then enforce the agreement. The only reason that I didn't go into treatment was because the rehab of mom was still open. My mother gave me attention, caring, love, concern, validation, food, everything. The rehab of mom. I love the rehab of mom. I don't know if it's like yours. Sitting on the couch, smoking cigarettes, watching TV, popping pills behind her back, drinking. Did you drink my liquor? Nope. Did you drink all my cough syrup? Nope. I love the rehab of mom. As long as the rehab of mom is open, I'm not going to your rehab. You know? My mother had to close the rehab of mom. You hold all the cards. The one advantage that you have is that your son is about avoiding uncomfortable feelings, things, and situations. So if the price of him using drugs becomes more uncomfortable than going into a residential treatment program, he'll go. Nobody goes to rehab for a noble reason. Nobody. I don't care who you are. We, in the midst of our addiction, do not have the capacity to look objectively at our life and say, Mom, I figured it out. I have decided to become responsible. I have a life plan and a goal sheet. The first 4 years are college. No, we might say that to mom to get her on our side a little bit. You know why we go to rehab? You know why an intervention works for a moment? What we shoot for as interventionists is a moment. We try and change the system, but we shoot for a moment where their lifestyle and their drug using is more uncomfortable than treatment. I remove the objections to treatment. It's cool, it's nice, it's by a lake, or it's not. It's not what you think. I make treatment a more comfortable option. And at the same time, I'm changing the system. You don't have to go. I don't know where you're going to stay. What, are you going to kick me out? I'm not saying they're going to kick you out, but what are you going to say to your mom here? They're offering you a gift.